On November 20th, 1998, a Russian Proton super heavy lift vehicle blasts off from the Baikonur launch cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. It carries the Zarya module, the first section of the International Space Station, weighing 21 tons. Just 2 weeks later, Endeavour blasts off on STS-88, carrying the Unity node weighing 9 tons. Mission specialist Nancy Curry uses the shuttle's robotic arm to bring the two sections together. It's the first time they have ever been connected. On the 27th of May 1999, STS-96 is the first shuttle mission to visit the ISS as a space station and not just Zarya node. And it carries up the first experiments for the ISS. No people on board as of yet. This is just outfitting it and getting it ready for when we do put the first expedition up, for them to have something to do, some experiments to do. It's not until July 12th of 2000 that the Russian Zvezda module is launched and gives us the ability to send out the first crew. Zvezda is the living quarters. But when we launched it, Zvezda was just an empty shell. It needed outfitting. We didn't launch it with all its fixtures. So on the 8th of September 2000, STS-106 launches and is the first section to properly dock with the ISS rather than just bring it in with the robot manipulator arm like we did with Hubble and Intelsat 6. Docking the shuttle is too precise a maneuver for its automatic pilot. It takes an astronaut's skill, the skill of pilot Scott Scooter Altman. On STS-106, they outfit the space station's interior. I mean, they were like the Finnish carpenters for a house, where you go up and you do all the fixtures and fittings, doing the furniture, the sleeping areas, the kitchen, the laboratory. Scott installed the toilet, very glamorous things like that. Once that was done, we could launch our Expedition 1 crew. They launched on October 31st, 2000 on Soyuz TM-31 under the command of Bill Shepard and two Russians, Yuri Gudzenko and Sergei Krikalev. Krikalev today holds the world space endurance record. He has spent more time in space than anybody else. But on that flight he was under American command, Bill Shepard. The Soyuz spacecraft that they launched on holds none of the comforts of the shuttle. And unlike the shuttle, it can only fly once. Every day in orbit they fly the distance of a trip to the moon. The International Space Station is starting to take shape inside now. When we finish it, we will have 15 pressurized modules for living and working, and then the Cupola observation module with 7 large windows. Projected to cost $157 billion, the ISS is the most expensive thing ever built by man. On September the 11th, 2001, the United States suffered its worst attack on its home soil ever, when members of the Al-Qaeda hijacked airplanes and crashed them into the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon building in Washington, D.C. The first shuttle mission after that was STS-108 under the command of Dominic Gori. And Commander Gori said something that I think really lifted the nation's spirits. On the 5th of December 2001, as they were sitting on the pad waiting to go in STS-108, Gori gave his pre-flight poll and said over the air, he said, quote, "Over the last 200 years, and particularly over the last 2 months, freedom has reigned loud and clear over this country. But right here, right now, I think it's time to let freedom roar. Let's light 'em up." End quote. And it was just 10 or 20 minutes later that we ignited the engines and sent STS-108 on our way to the ISS to deliver cargo of essential supplies. On the 24th of November 2002, we launched STS-113 with the next expedition crew under the command of Ken Bowersox. This period of 2001-2002, the construction pace at the ISS speeds up. The space station is now rapidly expanding as we launch multiple sections, and we've got solar panel modules up, we have living quarters and experiments, and the first laboratories have been sent up. Ken Bowersox's STS-113 mission was to begin construction of the integrated truss structure. The ITS was like Unity, a foundation structure, only on a much bigger scale. This provides the foundation for every module of the ISS that we would launch after that, running the length of the ISS. It also has a railway line on it, which we would fit a robotic manipulator arm, a sort of RPM on steroids, huge big arm that we would use to help us build the station. And also now we're going to start using it for commercial spacecraft to dock with the ISS. With Ken Bowersox on the space station, 2003 is scheduled to be the busiest year yet for the shuttle.